Hi there, my name is Ezra Kramers. I'm the head coach and executive director here at PFC. I'm here to tell you about our PFC competitive overview. 2014 saw a whole bunch of success. We had over 10 players head off to varsity to play college while studying their post-secondary. We also had James Fraser play for U18 Excelsior Rotterdam, who is still there. He scored 10 goals this season, and we look forward to hearing how he does this spring. Through our transition from 2014 to 2015, we saw some areas where we could tweak our competitive program to make it better for our players, parents, coaches, and our fans of the game. You guys are well aware that we have a philosophy of playing attacking, possessive football. We follow a cookie-cutter situation based in Holland, and we learn from Marco van Lochem, my mentor and head coach here, who will be coming here in May. The biggest point we want to make this year is that we want our young players to have the freedom to express themselves on the field. We want our players to be able to do the moves, beat players 1v1, while also keeping the ball. The biggest point we've made is in the past we had two competitive programs. We had the Excelsior Academy and we had the district program. Well, what we've done is we've streamlined both of them. And we've done that by putting the district program under the Excelsior Academy. So moving forward, you will not hear the word district, only Excelsior Academy when it comes to competitive football here at PFC. The biggest changes that we've made to this program is in the spring, I will be the head coach of every team, just like in the past with the Excelsior Academy. Then we will have volunteer assistant coaches. Now let's be honest, I can't be there all the time, but we see this as a way to ensure that we keep our philosophy, our style of play, our rosters and curriculum. In the end, it also helps out with coach mentoring, where I get to work directly with the volunteer coaches. In the spring, we still play in the Thompson Okanagan Youth Soccer League, but again, it will be under the Excelsior Academy banner. We still have Excelsior team managers, but we now also have a paid full-time Excelsior manager that will work with the team managers to ensure that our policy and procedures are met in every angle. Personally, I will not be going to away games. I'll be coaching as many home games as possible, while the volunteer coach will coach in the away games and be with me during home games. In the past, we used to give all assistant volunteer coaches travel stipends. This year, they will not be receiving that. Instead, we will be giving them a full gear for them to wear. This is a big one that I know you've been worried about and we've had problems with. This year, we will not be giving game day jerseys. So in the past, you would receive a home and away jersey. This year, the club will purchase all of the jerseys, but keep the jerseys. This is important as we go through a transition into the fall, where some players go try and do other sports, which is fine, but it really ensures that our players and our teams have jerseys with the proper numbers and we're not running around. So this year, players will not receive home and away jerseys, but they will receive everything else. This is a big change that I'm super excited about. If you're unaware, this year we had over 300 to 400 players in the Excelsior Academy training in the fall. That's over 25% more than last year. What we've done in the past is players would either make the first team and then go into our clubhouse league, but this year we've created another option for those players who want to train 10 months of the year, but are quite not ready for the first team. And what we've done is we've created reserve teams. And what reserve teams are is, if they don't make the first team, they play in a reserve structure, they train together, everything else, and they train at the same time as the first team, so they see the carrot that they know if that's their goal, what to do. There's also opportunities for inter-squad games, but they will not be playing in the Thompson Okanagan Youth Soccer League, meaning they're not playing in the regional league in Kamloops and Shuswap, Vernon and Kelowna. They will play in our clubhouse league, the South Okanagan, but they will be playing a division up. So for example, if we have a 99-2000 female reserve team, they won't be playing in their own age group. They will be playing in the U17, U18 age group, while also going to some tournaments. I'm very excited about this option that we have 3 tiers that our players can play. Many people talk about our pathway. Everyone must understand, if they were in a helicopter and they look down in Penticton, you're not going to see footballers and soccer fields. You're going to see lakes and mountains. Because of our geography, we've had to think outside the box in how can we develop players here. And as you can see here on our screen, this is our pyramid if you stay local. And we'll talk about different pathways in our next slide. But as you can see, they go through the mini program, they go through our Excelsior Academy as low as U7. From there, you can go into the Pacific Coast Soccer League Reserves, which is affiliated with our adult club, Penticton Soccer Club. We now have a premier option, which is brand new this year. Very excited. We're starting with the boys, and hopefully in the future we'll have a girls team as well. And in the end, through this structure, you could end up in Holland just like James Fraser at U19, playing for that team and seeing how you do at a professional level. From there, we've had, again, last year, 10 players go to university. Through this structure, once they've graduated, they could stay in the premier level, head to Holland, or go to varsity soccer. Is it the only pathway in this region? No. We also have a regional program called Thompson Okanagan Football Club, and this is another pathway that players can go through. As you can see here, this is a pyramid and it's connected with the Whitecaps, the provincial national team as well here. And you can see our structure here, which I talked about with the varsity option. In the end, it's your choice what pathway. We always say this, whatever pathway you choose, make sure you do your research on the following: your coaching, the financial situation, the amount of travel, and just how you feel. No matter what decision you make, if you come back or you stay forever, we're always here for you as your local club with a big, wide open door. And at any time, if you have any questions about your pathways, feel free to send me an email or make a phone call and sit down in my office and discuss the different options and the pros and cons. As you can see here, this is our annual periodization for our competitive stream. And it's very interesting, it's important that we have to take so many things into effect. For example, during the winter months, we can't play outdoor games, but we usually technically start in the beginning of August. And we do our exhibition tournament schedule till around January. This past year, most of our teams received roughly around 20 games during this period. And what's great about going to different tournaments is that we can dictate what level of play. Sometimes our players need to play easier opponents so they can really see the tactics and the movement and how to score a goal. And sometimes, when we use the Coquitlam tournament as an example, where we play very difficult opponents in regards to the speed of the game, so they see that they need to get quicker in their technique and their tactics. We take a 2-week break at Christmas. We do more training in the indoor, and as we get ready, March 1st, we start our Thompson Okanagan Youth Soccer League teams, and this is where we do a training camp for 3 weeks. We take a break for a week due to spring break in school, and then we head into our spring league, which is set games every week with the possibility of provincials in the beginning of July. From there, we take 3 to 4 weeks off in July. What I love about this structure here is players can come and go as they choose. We understand you as an athlete play different sports, and our biggest point is saying it is fine to play other sports, but can you be consistent in your training? You don't have to come to PFC to train. If you have a ball on a wall, you can still do your training at home, and it's amazing what 15 to 20 minutes can do for your overall development. Karen, do you have any questions?
Yes. In the fall-winter season, the Excelsior team rosters can fluctuate from tourney to tourney. Will this be the case in the TOYSL season?
It's a great question. So in our TOYSL season, which is March through June, we have set rosters. And there is an overview that you will sign so you understand the commitment that's necessary, which is Tuesdays and Thursdays and at least 1 game per week. Now when I say that the rosters are set, we expect you to commit for those 3 or 4 months, but pending injuries and developmental situations with players, if there is a reserve team under that, there is the possibility, based on good communication, that we may move you, but it will be direct for developmental reasons. Let's say if a player is struggling or if a player is doing very well.
If I have a concern about my player, who do I talk to?
It's a great point. We have lines of communication that really make it easy for parents and players to understand who to talk to. And as a player and parent down here, I always say if it's on field, talk to your volunteer assistant coach first. If it's off-field related, if you need a ride from a friend or what have you, talk to your team manager. From there, if your answers are met, that's as far as you need to go. If your answers aren't met or your assistant coach or team manager isn't confident with the answer, just slowly keep crawling up the ladder. As you see here, I'm the head coach. I deal with many of the issues, but again, we want to give and empower our assistant coaches to answer when available. As you can see, it can go all the way up to our board of directors if and when I don't give you the answer or our office doesn't give you the answer.
When will the rosters be announced for the spring season?
It's a great question. At this point, we're working very hard finishing and solidifying our coaches. We're evaluating players, and I want to make this very clear. We do ongoing evaluations. We know we're a small coaching staff within the Excelsior Academy staff. We evaluate your players every time they step on the field. We do not do specific tryouts. If we are not sure where your player fits in, we'll ask them to come again. In the end, February 13th, all of our rosters for the spring will be announced. There'll be overviews, there'll be documents to sign, and we're looking forward to a great season.
And what tournaments are you planning on attending this spring?
It's a great point. In previous years, we really tried to do the May-long Kamloops tournament, but what we found is that we have a very heavy schedule in March and April, and with all the travel to Kamloops, Shuswap, Kelowna, that we are taking May off for our first teams. But we are going to go to tournaments, the one that we host, which was our PFC Spring Invitational, which is really our icebreaker tournament. And we'll also do one at the end, which is the Kelowna tournament. Again, tournaments that are closer to home, less travel, easier on the pocketbook, but also gives us 3 or 4 extra games in the beginning of the season and at the end of the season. The goal is that this spring, each team will receive anywhere from 15 to 20 games. So the idea is annually that you're playing around 40 games. And the beautiful part is that we are able to dictate what level of competition to ensure that we're developing your player technically and tactically. Because again, it's not about winning trophies at this age, it's about developing and making sure they're successful to reach the next level. In the end, thank you. If you have any more further questions, we do have an overview online of all of this information at pinnaclesfc.com. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the pitch.